Welcome back to another Bitcoin update. Bitcoin did what we needed it to do, which was bounce from 94 and reclaim 96k. Well, this dotted line, whatever that level is exactly, 95.75. And today, with the CPI data coming out, it actually led to a dump initially, and it looked like the support was being lost. But with this reversal attempting to continue the breakout, we can now see it. We got the breakout, the retest, and now attempting continuation after another retest of support. But unfortunately, over the past day, we're now getting this bearish cross here between the 12 and the 55. There are others that could potentially happen. Let me just remove the drawings. So you can see this is about to cross over. The only way we avoid this crossing over is by seeing this move through 97.8. Let's just call it 98k. So we really need to see Bitcoin reclaiming 98k, and also including that 20 moving average on the daily time frame. This will initiate a further pump back into 100,000. But ultimately, guys, this massive red box is all resistance. It's meant to lower high in that region. So will it then lower low or higher low? So what do I mean by that? We're now looking for 98 and this level 98.6 to break and flip into support. Then we'll see a move back up into 102, in between the level of 102 and 107,000. So the risk is even getting up to there and meeting the falling wedge target up at 105. It's still considered low or high because you're meeting the target. Anyways, we've got this level of resistance here. We need to flip the 886 into support, and then Bitcoin can move on to these higher targets, 115 to 122. So up until we break that resistance, flip it into support, it's meant to be resistance. It's meant to be the top. Bitcoin is supposed to form a lower high in that region, and then what we need to see going forward is if it will higher low and then eventually break through, or lower low and head back down to the range lows, maybe get a bounce there. But could still lower high and then lower low and lose this. It could still develop into that, guys. I'll try and give some more validity, although I do want this to break out bullish. I've now made you all aware today that Bitcoin needs to break above 98 and 98.6, flip that into support, and then it will head towards 102 and 107. This needs to flip into support, and then we will see these targets up here. So this is the bullish, that's the bullish path. That's what we need Bitcoin to do. However, there are other technical factors here that are suggesting a lower high could appear in this region. So I'm going to zoom out and show you this. Going back to the bear market, so 68 or 9k down to 15k, is showing that a key level of resistance that we've run into, as you can see over here, is 103,000. And on the weekly, we've come into it once, come into it twice, and are actually rejecting it currently for the second time. That's why we've come back down to this neckline. So without it breaking down, it's still forming as a double top. So how do we avoid this double top? Well, I've just shown you. We've got the falling wedge. It needs to break 98, 98.6, and it'll run into this area. But again, it's macro resistance. It's been using it as resistance, respecting that for multiple months now. And if this lower end support was to give in, we can see there's a whole bunch of space. The measured move would be 80k, let's just call it. But on the daily time frame, the 200 EMA, you can see if we were to lose this, the 100, that's what's meant to come next. But that's at 84, so it could avoid the double top target. So I'll just show you. This would be the more aggressive target. A more conservative one would be the highest candle close to the neckline there. And you can see that's still beneath this 200 EMA. So if Bitcoin was to fail, whether we even fail to climb above this or we get up as high as this and it lower highs, rolls over and eventually loses this, this would be the target. But every day that passes, this drags up and could stop that target. The longer we consolidate, in fact, this could line up with 91, 92k. But this is all avoidable. In the first half of this video, I showed you what needs to happen. This path, and even if we get rejected and it technically is a lower high, what's meant to come after is a lower low, and validating this double top, or maybe at that point it's a head and shoulders. However, this does not need to happen. You could reject this area and higher low and then break through, and then we have those targets to the upside. There are more targets beyond this point. If I zoom back out to the right, remember this is where we've seen weekly resistance, and of course on the daily as well. As we zoomed in, it's been respected for some months, and then the next targets you can see are up here, 128, 140, and the fib that's come from this pullback, this dip on Bitcoin through January to Feb, we can see it's giving us those targets as high as the more macro Fibonacci on the weekly time frame, multi-year Fibonacci. So that's what we could look forward to, and we know that Bitcoin is going to go onto that path if it can break through the red box. But guys, yeah, we can prepare for that DCA with that in mind, as long as the red box breaks, because unfortunately, if we run up into it, it's still not good enough. We need to see if it higher lows, and then if it can break through. If we start creating lower highs and lower lows and lower highs, and the bounce from here is still lower than this new one, then it can ultimately roll over and lose the low eventually, and then of course meet those targets out of the double top pattern. So this would be the potential double top. Remember, as long as this green box holds, then that's nothing to worry about, because we have this bullish pattern that we've just broken out of and retested as support. So this is the path we should now go on. If the bears wake up, if there's any bearish news or anything like that to stop this path, then of course very negative, because we've come into the apex of the pattern now, and this is a bullish pattern. So this is where it needs to move up from. Otherwise it invalidates the bullish pattern and it breaks down bearish. And this is a falling wedge that we're seeing across the market if you've been following my updates the last few days. First brought to your attention on Friday on this candle, which had an incredible move up. But while it was down here at 96k, I was saying today we could move up to 100k and come back down, because we're pumping into the weekend where the stock market shuts and there's low liquidity. So from there, from 100k, it moved back down as we were anticipating, as well as the weekend being dead. Monday got the breakout. Tuesday, we got the scare. Wednesday, a further scare with CPI data being released and inflation being a little bit more than expected. Got the retest now, it's reversed. And now it must follow this path, reclaiming 98, 98.6, heading into 102 and 107, the very key level of resistance where everything could go wrong. So we need to really keep our eyes on Bitcoin and altcoins. And I will be here to make updates as it develops daily. If you want further updates from myself, if you want to get taught by myself, use the links down below. I also have a Discord community where I do live streams to teach you guys and, of course, analyze the market. Cheers, everyone.